Senne. I'm a singer-songwriter who plays piano.
Okay. Who are some of your influences?
Man, I grew up listening to my stepdad a lot, but no one really knows who he is. But I was really fortunate to grow up in a very musical household, so my parents are a big influence on me. Stevie Wonder, old Motown cats, Michael Jackson was huge. Ben Folds was kind of the first guy that I was able to look up to, like, as a piano player. I got into band before I really understood Stevie and really got into that whole soul thing that really captivated me. But I started playing piano, and there aren't a lot of piano players can look up to as professional musicians, and that people consider rock stars or whatever. Guitar players have Jimi Hendrix, and Jimmy Page, and all those guys, which is great, but piano players don't have a lot of that. So Ben Folds, I really dig John Mayer. I don't know if I'd call him an influence. He's just one of the people that I'm really just a huge fan of. A lot of respect for him.
How would you describe your sound to someone who hasn't heard your music before?
This question. We usually try and say it's like soul and blues inspired pop. I mean, it's pop music in the aspect of, I want a lot of people to like it. I want it to be popular, which is where pop music came from. There's, kind of a bad stigma sometimes that comes from wanting to be a pop musician. But, I mean, I try and stay true to myself in the aspect of, pulling from the influences that I grew up around. But, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, of, wanting to write a song that a lot of people are going to like. So I guess that's where the pop comes in. But, I mean, it's soul and blues inspired. It's got everything I do has to have feeling. There has to be a reason that I'm singing that, or there has to be a reason I'm playing that. Because if not, then it feels superficial, and music to me is emotion, and if you can't put that emotion behind it, then what the hell are you doing?
So you just wrapped up your 2-week stint with Ryan Cabrera. How did the shows go?
No, they went good. We had a really good time being on tour. We played some kind of smaller venues, but that's fun. I usually travel with a trio, and this one was just me and a piano, which is always fun for me, just because it's a totally different vibe. The way that I play on stage is the way that it sounds in my bedroom when I'm writing, and so it's kind of a stripped down, almost vulnerable way to play that I really dig. Ryan was super cool. Got to hang out a lot. Yeah, it's just been a good time. It's been a really good time.
Do you have a favorite show from the tour?
Tonight was pretty rad. I'll give tonight some credit, which for the camera purposes is in Pontiac, Michigan, on the 16th. It was cool. I've been nice enough to get a couple encores in my life, in my career, or whatever, but never as an opening band, which I got one of those tonight. That was pretty rad. Ryan didn't get one, whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, tonight was pretty cool. I don't know, there was a show in Jasper, Indiana a couple nights ago that was kind of cool, just in the aspect of everything was going wrong that night. Like, the sound guys didn't really know what they were doing, and it was just like one of those, just the vibe in the room was really weird that night. And I got up there, and I wasn't looking forward to playing, but for some reason, some of the shows that I'm least looking forward to playing, as far as 10 minutes before my set, end up being some of my favorite. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I see that it's going bad, so I know that I have to perform extra hard or whatever. I don't know. That was pretty good. It's kind of a cop-out answer to say I like them all, but I really do. I just feel very fortunate to be able to do this and call this my job. I'm a freaking kid in a candy store when I'm on stage, and to be able to do this night after night and have people show up and want to listen and want to participate and want to cheer and scream, and people who come up afterwards and give me compliments. It's awesome. It blows my mind every day that this is what I do for a living. So being on tour in general is awesome. Tonight was pretty rad. It's always fun when people sing with you, so that was pretty cool.
Do you have any tours planned for the remainder of the year?
Nothing that is set in stone. There's a couple things that we've submitted for, but we just don't know yet. Just a lot of, as far as I know right now, a lot of just one-off here, driving up to Atlanta for the weekend, or driving here, whatever. Might be going out with Ryan, doing some college dates in October. Don't really know about any of that yet. And then there might be some stuff late November, early December, but that's stuff I don't know about yet.
So your debut album, Wonderland, is currently available.
Yes.
What is your favorite song from the CD?
They all kind of have like their own kind of favorites in my mind in certain ways. Cry is really cool to me because, as I said earlier, my stepdad has been a huge influence on me, and Cry was the first song that I ever sent him a recording of or whatever, that he ever listened to it or whatever and called me back and asked if his band could play it. And so that was a huge affirmation for me, just because of the influence that he was on my life, and as much of my music as I pull from him, for him to call me and say that he wished he wrote a song that I wrote was pretty cool. Cry was also the first song that I ever heard on TV, and so that's a really humbling experience. The Sun Will Rise, I really dig. I think it's the best written song, and as far as people who really gravitate towards it, I mean, Cry is really bluesy, and people who like blues really get into it, but a lot of people, they don't really necessarily grasp it. So The Sun Will Rise, I don't know, Wonderland's rad. I like kind of all of it.
What's your favorite song to perform?
Oh, goodness. I've been having a lot of fun with a new one called In the End, as far as doing it solo. That song is just really, really kind of important to me right now. I mean, I can go back through the songs I've written and remember why I wrote them, remember where I was at that point in my life when I did write it. But In the End's really big for me right now. With the trio, when I play with the rest of my band, Walk Out the Door just freaking grooves really hard, and I really like playing that. I guess those win right now.
What is your most embarrassing moment while performing for a crowd?
There have been times when I've burped into the mic, as y'all know from freaking eating earlier. Forgetting words is never a good idea, especially when it's your own song, or because I play a keyboard, obviously, that has a bunch of different sounds. Sometimes I'll not be on the right one, or accidentally hit some weird random button, horns come out when I'm starting to play a ballad. That's strange. I mean, it's never good when you're, I don't know, like when you're like really rocking out, like you're going for a note and it's supposed to be all, freaking emotion and passion and balls to the walls and your voice cracks. You always kind of feel like a dumbass when that happens.
Who's someone that you would like to play a show with or work with in the future?
Oh, Stevie Wonder. With bar none, no reason to even discuss it. Him, he's, aside from my stepdad, he's one of the most gifted musicians who's ever walked the face of the planet, and he's been such a huge influence on me that would be just an honor for me just to work with him, just to kind of get in his head as far as how he creates.
What is something that you hope to accomplish in your music career?
Grammys. I'd like a couple of them. But not so much for the trophy aspect, not for standing up on stage and being like, haha, look at me, but just to know that what I do matters, and not even to me, and not to anybody else, just to know that I've left some kind of mark on the world. I think that's what anybody wants to do, is you kind of want to leave the world a better place than when you got here. And to me, that's kind of, hopefully that means that my art has affected people and it's made a difference in someone's life. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have this gift. So if I can use it and make a difference for somebody, then it's cool for me.
You ain't worth the breathing. My lungs gonna do